Greetings, I'm Solidus-Skully, and welcome back to Kingdom Hearts 3. I hope you enjoyed that secret movie, because I'm hoping to be talking about it, once we get into the swing of things. But in the meantime, a nice little interaction between Terra and, of course, his younger self, Riku-ish.
Well, look at you.
Thanks. I finally fulfilled my promise to you.
You did. Now there's nothing left for me to teach you. You're a true Keyblade master. Not to mention a great leader to those around you. You've even found the strength to save your friends.
It's not enough.
The very fact that you were able to make your way here proves just how strong you are. That is why I called for you.
Well, that's the reason?
You expected more?
Yes.
Hey, you two! What's so funny?
It's a secret.
Aw, come on! Tell me!
Are you sure about this?
Yes. But don't worry. I'm not alone this time.
Yeah.
Good luck.
But if we still remember him, then he must still be with us.
Yes, that would stand to reason.
But we've been searching everywhere for Sora, and we haven't found a single clue. If he's really out there, don't you think we would have found something by now?
Cid's been looking into the data for a year now. Aren't the people at the castle doing the same thing? No one's found anything yet?
Well, it's outside their field of expertise.
Come on, Cid!
Can you throw us a bone here, please?
Be quiet! I'm trying! I'm this close to something, I know it!
Cid, you are a million times worse than a broken record.
By the way, how are the others?
Well, Mickey, Donald, and Goofy are searching for clues in every past world that Sora's been to. Terra, Ven, and Aqua went to the Realm of Darkness, and the Twilight Town gang are studying Roxas and Xion's memories.
And what about Kairi?
Kairi. She believes her heart might hold a clue about Sora. For a year, she's been sound asleep while they search her heart.
So there's been no progress.
What in the...
Huh?
What in the world is this?
What is it?
This computer, the one in Twilight Town, and the one in the castle are all connected to the same network. They sent me all of their data, and I merged it with the stuff I already had, and looky here.
Sora!
Sora's inside the computer?
No, that's just the data I constructed based on Sora and his fighting abilities.
So you gave us a heart attack for nothing?
No, that group Sora was fighting, battalion something? Well, I recreated their data too.
The real Organization 13. Maybe their data will lead us to where Sora is.
Well, it crossed my mind, but I must be better at this than I thought, 'cause their data, it's so powerful I can't access any of it.
Can you use Sora's data to gain access?
Oh, good idea. Worth a shot.
Yeah, let's try.
Well now, that pretty much sets up the stakes, and for the first and only real time ever really, yeah, you get to play as Riku in a non-combat segment. In this case, you don't really get to go outside, use any of your abilities. In fact, really all you're doing is just sort of exploring around Merlin's house, really, just talking to Final Fantasy characters. And yeah, Final Fantasy characters. At the begrudging request of Tetsuya Nomura's team members, who did technically create the models for, Cid, Aerith, Yuffie, and Squall, but Nomura cut them out of the game, the team got pissed, and thus they were thrown back into Remind for this little limit cut episode right here, and it is quite noticeable, as you can tell by their voice performances not being quite up to snuff. It's really saying something that the usually excellent David Gallagher or Doug Erholtz or Mai Whitman... Actually, no, you know what, I tell a lie, Mai Whitman does pretty well, it's just that Doug Erholtz and, David Gallagher seem to kind of suffer without a lack of direction by having stilted, well, Sora, Donald, and Goofy are off doing some things, and now we are sounding like a Cyberman, we have come to destroy you. Okay, maybe not quite as silly as that, but you get what I'm talking about here. All you can really do is just sort of talk to people, and, yeah, only other thing to really bring up is that I guess because she has a career-ish, Aerith is no longer voiced by Mina Suvari. So, yeah. I can't quite remember who she's voiced in this game. Again, it's not, Mandy Moore from Kingdom Hearts 1. And it's, not the, last who voices her in, the Final Fantasy VII Remake, so they do keep the original voice actors for, the Final Fantasy VII cast, in this case, so... Yeah. I guess maybe it might be the Japanese thing of, like, keeping certain voice actors to their characters within certain incarnations. Like, I guess to use an example, like how Sonic the Hedgehog all throughout the game continuity is gonna be voiced by Junichi Kanemaru, except for, certain circumstances like the OVA or the Sonic movies where he's voiced by a different Japanese actor. But in any case, to kind of get to brass tacks, this is the Garden of Assemblage. Basically similar place to what we found in Kingdom Hearts 2 after going through the Cavern of Remembrance, as you can tell by its nice little remix theme, and yeah. This Limit Cut episode, while we don't really have much in the way of story, apart from a few cutscenes here and there, this is very much going to be a boss rush, and yeah, similar to Kingdom Hearts 2, where the data battles against the Organization 13 were meant to be difficult recreations, yeah, this is very much going to be putting you through your paces and giving you much harder boss fights to, well, take on. So again, for those of you thinking, oh, well, you see Kingdom Hearts 3 is a bit of a game for babies, it's too easy. Well, this is for you. I hope you enjoy the pain and suffering. Which, I mean, they most likely will. But yeah, unlike Kingdom Hearts 2, however, again, if you want to complete the Limit Cut episode, this is very much mandatory, so you're pretty much going to be doing this in the long haul, unless of course you decide to use the Pro or Easy codes to make your experience harder or, well, easier. But yeah, in this case, we're pretty much starting things off simply with Dark Riku, and yeah, you might remember throughout a majority of the commentary, since I was very experienced with Kingdom Hearts 3, I was more or less just, you know, taking a bit of a lax attitude, you know, trying to show off the combat system to the best of its ability, and varietize my moves, just to, you know, showcase the excellence of combat. Yeah, that pretty much goes out the window here. This is gonna require a lot of skill and tenacity, so yeah, it pretty much goes out the window for what's ostensibly me pretty much going, you know, crazy, tenacious, don't let them breathe for a second, give them an inch and they'll take a mile sort of mentality. So, yeah. Skill kind of goes out the window a little bit, and that's not to say that I completely shit the bed or that I completely lose or anything. It's just that, again, if you're expecting the same sort of finesse that a lot of players experience with the game usually tend to have, it's, well, not going to be quite as refined, for lack of a better phrase. And you can see right here that Dark Riku is also not letting up as he pretty much utilizes his, yeah, all of his powerful abilities that they likely couldn't use in the Keyblade Graveyard, because I guess that would have made even the power of the PS4's processor explode. But yeah, you saw what sort of moves that Riku was using right there, you know, the likes of Dark Aura, and all of his more powerful abilities. See, he even blocked, you know, Dark Farago, no, he even dodged our Rage form, which you're going to be seeing a lot more often throughout this part. Again, I know, you didn't even see hide nor hair of it until the final boss against Old Man Xehanort, but here, oh boy, you're going to be seeing Rage form a hell of a lot more. But, yeah, a bit of a misnomer actually. I said all the way back in the beginning of the commentary that I was going to be showing off the easy and pro codes for, you know, for the sake of, you know, making this Limit Cut boss fight go off a little bit more smoothly. Again, my initial plan for this segment was that what I was initially going to do was, yeah, I'll pretty much, you know, give these boss fights, you know, a once-off college try again. If I couldn't beat them first time, then I'll pretty much use the easy code with a one-hit kill capability to, you know, pretty much kill them once and for all, and get the plot moving. Whereas, yeah, I later found out that, and I'm guessing that this was probably because I'd already done most of the main game story-wise beforehand, so yeah, you can only get the ability to use easy or pro codes if you choose, I think it's either easy adventure or difficult adventure, which pretty much unlocks one of the two easy or pro codes. So yeah, you don't technically get to use them at this stage. I suppose I could have technically utilized my previous save file with that intact, but yeah, that's neither here nor there in this case, so I guess I couldn't technically use them. But yeah, basically what this resulted in was me doing it legit, so I mean, again, I guess it's meant to be fair, because I mean, I am technically, you know, earning my keep, for lack of a better phrase. But yeah, it just meant that these parts are gonna take a hell of a lot longer, and for those of you who wanted to see more boss fights, well, you're certainly getting your money's worth. But then again, that's also me having to cover with more things to say, and whether or not people find this sort of content entertaining to begin with, because at time of uploading, we have technically just gotten to the point where I've started uploading the Lucky Emblem video, which, you know, involved me covering the terrible tales of Rapunzel and the Snow Queen, so yeah, I don't really technically know how well those videos are going to go down, but with its measly one view at the time of checking this morning, yeah, that's not a very encouraging sign. But then again, I can't tell whether or not that's just because of, again, YouTube algorithm shite, or whether or not that's just because of the video content itself, or just purely because of the fact that Kingdom Hearts 3 has been going on for so long, and whether because of how divisive the game is among some Kingdom Hearts fans, or whether it's just because of, well, yeah, you know, people just sort of getting bored with longer commentaries, yeah, it's difficult for me to really explain. By the way, that's a little Moogle icon that you just saw pop up before. That's a Koopa coin. I might have explained this all the way back at the beginning of the commentary, but always good to freshen yourself up a little bit. But yeah, that basically gives you, well, a one-time emergency revival in case you die. It's, I guess, basically the equivalent of auto-life, really. So, yeah, it's good to have in an emergency. But for one of the last fights that we'll be doing in the commentary, it won't save you forever. And that was, yeah, we're also going to be seeing the Oathkeeper Keyblade in all its glory. And, yeah, whilst its first transformation has the light ability, yeah, as you can imagine, the Oblivion Keyblade, which takes part of its second transformation, also technically has the Darkness transformation, so, yeah, kind of a shame I couldn't really show that off, but, act waste. Dark Riku is nearly defeated, and thus, we kept our promise. And as expected, you get little rewards and power bands for your victories, so yeah, it's all good in the hood. But now we take on Vanitas, who is actually easier to take on than I thought, boy. But yeah, some of these fights I actually found to be easier than I expected. I mean, I am appropriately leveled for this point in the game, even though I am struggling. And again, I do have the ultimate weapon and Oathkeeper, which does, you know, which does level the score and playing field a little bit. So, yeah, I guess I'm pretty pumped out for this point in the game as to what I need to be. I mean, again, the developers do expect you to, you know, beat this level of the game. So, yeah, I guess I had to make it somewhat feasible. But, I mean, yeah, I suppose compared to anything else, I mean, compared to Kingdom Hearts 2, actually, it's the only real part of the game where I have technically completed all the data battles. For Kingdom Hearts 2, I managed to complete at least, I want to say 6 of them, but, yeah, as for anything else, yeah. I mean, I will say that, you know, not to pat myself on the back and, you know, toot my own horn too hard. But, yeah, I am proud of myself for doing this legit, even if my original plan sort of backfired on me, but, yeah. I mean, to kind of go further into my original plan, my only real boss fights that I was planning on doing legitimately would have been, well, the one fight that we didn't really get to see too much, that being the boss fight against Xion, who, yes, since she was technically part of the true Organization 13, yeah, you would actually get a full-fledged boss fight against Xion. And, again, compared to, you know, 3-5 out over 2 days, not against that giant robot kind of thing that you saw in that film. No, you actually get a full-on Xion fight. So, yeah, that'll be quite cool. But, that's not going to be something you're going to be seeing until next time, which is, part of why I am pretty much dividing these, you know, fights, in between, you know, 2 different videos, because honestly, the video will be long enough as is, there's no story context to really help me out, and, yeah, compared to anything else, you know, the throat, she be getting mighty tired. And plus, I mean, again, I suppose you also just don't want to see, like, a lengthy beast of straight boss fights, and, you know, in the next video, I do also plan on giving you a little something extra as well, that being the data gradings and all that, so, yeah, don't worry, you do get something to, you know, tide you over in the meantime. Yeah, to talk about anything else, so one thing I also want to talk about, I think I might have brought it up during the brief Aqua boss fight we had with Vanitas before, but yeah, we also get to listen to Vanitas' theme remix, which has a sick as hell guitar solo thrown in, and yeah, sick as hell. I really enjoy it. And you do actually get similar remixes towards a lot of the other characters' battle themes, particularly with Syx, actually, he gets a really cool rockin' guitar remix of his theme as well. But you'll either be seeing that next time, or you'll be seeing that, well, next time as in the fight after this one, not the fight after whatever. Actually, no, I think the next fight might be against young Xehanort? Yeah, whatever. In any case, so if you want to replenish your Koopa coin, you pretty much have to go to the Moogle shop, which is handily available in the Garden of Assemblage, and that's pretty much it. So, yeah, you can pretty much restock your items, and again, if you do want to, you know, get some more money or anything, yes, you can actually return to the base game and, you know, earn yourself a little bit of extra dosh and, you know, sell off a few items if, you know, you don't need them anymore, or you're pretty much pimped out to the best of your ability. So, again, you don't have to worry about running out of cash in case you're sucking too badly. It's, you know, just a matter of, you know, being prepared. Oh, here we go. Dark Sora versus Vanitas. Darkness versus darkness, boy. Vanitas was defeated. Okay, what do we have next? Young Xehanort. Yes. By the way, if I can say anything about my disappointment in terms of video viewership, I mean, again, I know I bring it up a fair bit throughout Kingdom Hearts, but again, then again, that's just mainly because, you know, filibuster. But in turn, one of the videos I'm surprised didn't actually get any views at time of recording was, you know, the infamous Yeetus Vanitas, as the fans like to call it, where Sullivan scares the shit out of Vanitas and pretty much chucks him through a door. I figured the meme-worthy potential would have had people flocking to the video, but alas, it's not meant to be. But yeah, in any case, to kind of talk about young Xehanort's battle, this is pretty much a take on his battle from Dream Drop Distance, and I suppose borrowing a bit more heavily from his original Unknown battle from Birth by Sleep, which is admittedly the one battle that I wasn't able to show off in that game, but you know what, fucking, I'm just gonna say that you're seeing it right here, because he has very similar sort of like, oh, time freeze, and now I get to completely fuck you up the arse with time magic. Because, you know, Xehanort has the whole time travel thing, don't you know? But yeah, I mean, out of the surprises that I was able to defeat rather easily, young Xehanort. I didn't expect him to go down this easily, but you know what, he's only young Xehanort, you know, he's still learning, he's not quite as experienced as the Xehanort that we have today. Incidentally though, one thing I'm actually kind of sad that we never really got much of an interaction with was, well, young Xehanort and then old man Xehanort, because, I mean, that must have been... I mean, again, I know young Xehanort was basically just being an arrogant shit, really, but again, I'm just curious to see, like, what sort of conversations they would have, like, if he would have been attentive to his older self to the letter, or, again, as is to be expected when you're interacting with a younger version of yourself who's young and impudent, as opposed to you who's old and wise and grouchy. Yeah, just what sort of character conflicts he would have. I don't know. I mean, I just kind of see, like, a young Xehanort pretending to know, like, everything, while old man Xehanort is just like, oh, yeah, little shit, I'm gonna give you a smack on the bum, because I'm old and have old man values. And if you're thinking I'm just making shit up on the fly, you'd be right. Because I don't really have too much of anything else to say, so I guess in lieu of anything else to really talk about, we might as well just talk about story plot shenanigans going on. Yeah, Kairi going to sleep, that pretty much setting up Melody of Memory, where she's basically tracing the connection of Sora's heart to the final world, and, yeah, Sora isn't technically in the final world anymore, as the secret movie will elucidate on, but it does lead Kairi towards, a certain character that we're gonna be, showing off in the cutscene next time, because I didn't really get much of a chance to show it off. But yeah, needless to say, it pretty much leads to the road to Kingdom Hearts 4, for lack of a better phrase, so... yeah, that's pretty much what Kairi's whole deal is. Mickey, Donald, and Goofy exploring the different worlds was actually touched upon in the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer and screenshots, actually, where, yeah, as we can see, Mickey is going to Scholar at Kylum to, I suppose, investigate, you know, ancient Keyblade wielder days gone by, I guess in a way to get Sora back, or see if they know anything about, you know, where he currently is. And, of course, Donald and Goofy pretty much end up in the underworld from Hercules. They're pretty much getting a visit from Olympus, so... hey ho, Pip and Dale, James Woods gets another paycheck as the illustrious Hades. And as for Riku, well, you also see that he also ended up in that mysterious world that Sora ended up in, so... yeah, I guess I might as well talk about the secret movie while we still have it. Yeah, you might be thinking that, you know, given its location, that it's either Sora ended up in the real world, which is actually a closer interpretation than one might think, or that he ended up in The World Ends With You, with, you know, him winding up in Shibuya, but that isn't quite the case, because, yeah, Tetsuya Nomura did say in interviews and whatever that... excuse me. That, again, it's not meant to be the same Shibuya as The World Ends With You, I guess because it isn't quite stylized or anime or anything. But, yeah, what that place actually is, it isn't Tokyo, Japan, but rather Quadratum. Yes, a little pun on our company that brought us the Kingdom Heartsian series, Square. But yeah, needless to say, what Quadratum is basically meant to be a facsimile of, our real world, you know, with, you know, fancy anime boys summoning giant robots and, casting technological magic spells or whatever. And is vaguely reminiscent of Final Fantasy Versus 13. But yeah, apart from being a facsimile of our world, that's basically a world that has never heard of light nor darkness. And if you remember back to Kingdom Hearts 1, where, you know, the Heartless are attracted to the Keyblade and elements of light, yeah, Sora's presence in that world and his ability to summon the Keyblade, as the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer will attribute to, basically leads to our current situation. Heartless invading the real world, for lack of a better phrase, and everyone being in a lot of trouble. Oh dear, we are in trouble, aren't we, auntie? But yeah, Sora's pretty much in there with no way to get home, and Riku's coming in to rescue him, and all of his friends are there for him. But again, what that's going to mean for Kingdom Hearts 4 is up in the air. We haven't gotten the game yet, we haven't even gotten any other screenshots, anything else at time of recording. Oh, it's just making me sad. Oh, it's giving me an Irish accent. Yeah, no, by the way, this is also the first boss fight where I technically die, so sad face. But yeah, I mean, Sykes' boss fight, again, if I didn't say it in Kingdom Hearts 2, is basically just an angry bitch who just go... his attack pattern is basically, by the time he fills up his berserk meter, is basically the equivalent of going fuck you, 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 without much style or finesse, really. So, yeah, it can be a bit of a pain in the ass, and, I mean, it is saying something that I do technically die here, so... yeah, it's a bit of a shame. But don't worry, I've learned a great technique of blocking with my face. And that's to my detriment. I should learn to block with the Keyblade and not with my face. But then again though, with some of these boss fights, and particularly some of the more advanced capabilities, yeah, somewhat intentionally so, one of the things that I did actually learn through, well, part of which was extensive playing, and another of which was also to do with, well, you know, I guess doing a bit of research in terms of how to best effectively take out these boss fights, but yeah, let's see. Yeah, in terms of a lot of these data fights, there is purposeful delays in combos and attacks to prevent a lot of people from, you know, recklessly rushing in to try and get as much damage as possible. Basically my strategy. Or people who block spam, who basically just, you know, spam the block button and hope that that'll keep them safe until, you know, the enemies will end and then you have a chance to attack. So, you know, it is paying attention, and, you know, it isn't completely relying on dominant strategy in the same way that a lot of people expect Kingdom Hearts to operate, because... there are a lot of people out there that do see Kingdom Hearts as, oh yes, well you see, it's a game for babies, you can just press the X button to win, and then I'll just press block occasionally. It's not like Dick Souls, or Ninja Gaiden, or Devil May piss his pants and cry. But no, there is technique, skill, and indeed a lot of timing that you have to, you know, contend with. I mean, again, this isn't just like your box standard game Souls ripoff these days, where you just parry, dodge, 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 until you have a brief window to hit, parry, dodge, 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 dodge. You know, which I basically come to coin as the Ocarina of Time strategy of dealing with boss fights, but... yeah, there is a bit... you do have to put your work in with a lot of these data boss fights, and again, the combat system of the Kingdom Hearts series is, again, it's easy to play but hard to master, and so you gotta be ready for it. Oh my god, it's over. Sykes, what happened to you? Why can't you be nice to me? Like you were to Lee. It's all over. Oh, what I wouldn't have given for it. Sora! Sora! Oh wait, I technically did that. So yes, I brought Sora back to life, by which I mean using edits, and then I completely destroyed him. Yeah, I'm not gonna have you sit through all that again, so yeah, the power of editing. See, aren't you glad that you have Solidus-Skully here, doing this in the old traditional commentary Let's Play format as opposed to streaming? With streaming, you're pretty much leaving everything in, including all the boring bits, as well as saying hello to DickSucker59 for just saying a word. Is old man Solidus-Skully being bitter about modern trends again? The answer is yes. But yeah, this boss fight against Lucio was pretty much a reminiscent form of his boss fight back in Kingdom Hearts 2, so... yeah, prepare to see a lot of the same sort of techniques and, well, a lot of his sharpshooter stuff. Basically, being a bit of a pain in the ass. The only thing he doesn't do in this technique is pretty much do his whole, well, I guess maybe because the reaction command system isn't in this game anymore, but basically, yeah, the whole idea of him you know, going into targeting mode and then trying to snipe Sora, and then going, "You clever little sneak, dude." But yeah, that also includes that little rainstorm of bullets that pretty much extends outwards, so, yeah, that's gonna eat a majority of your health, so, be on your guard. But yeah, this is also another battle where I die. But luckily for you, you won't see me die. I won't die, I won't die. But instead I'm going to be showing off two alternate outcomes where we get a little reaction command segment of our own, where we basically enter a Western standoff with our dear old friend, Lushu. Here we go. Da-na-na-na-na, da-na-na, da-na-na-na. I failed! But no, da-na-na, I got a bit of Keyblade to react. And I was just quicker on the draw this time. And what that does is basically stun Lushu, so you can basically go to town on him. And this pretty much gave me the winning edge that I needed to take him down. Or at least before he teleported away like a little puss, so... heck wished, really. And by the way, deflecting those little bolts, you know, just down there, the red bolts mean... that's basically also going to do little bits of pip damage to him, so, yeah. You can technically use that to your advantage and finish him off. The white bullets pretty much sort of deflect all over the shop, although, again, does do a fair bit of damage against you, so, bullshit. There we go, just focus on blocking. Nothing but blocking, nothing but blocking. But again, that technique isn't really going to work since, you know, you do technically have like a giant pool that acts as an invisible wall. So, yeah. Darkness. It ruins lives and it ruins, sick deflection motrons that make you feel happy. Ah! There we go, that's the ticket. And thus, Lushu is down until Kingdom Hearts 4, we will no doubt have to fight him again. Though I do wonder if he's gonna continue using his arrow bolt guns, or if he's gonna, you know, actually utilize a Keyblade. I mean, it would make sense, given the fact that, you know, he's like, "Yeah, dude, I was more than worthy to wield one, man." So I don't really know what else to say. I mean, I guess we are gonna see Lushu with his Keyblade wielding prowess, and, yeah, it's just curious as to what one he's going to use, because, I mean, again, as I mentioned beforehand, the Gazing Eye Keyblade that Xehanort had for a majority of his time, you know, what with him also hypocritically saying, "Oh yes, the weak steal power from the strong and claim that they've earned it." Coming from a man who would later steal people's bodies, people's Keyblades, and, you know, manipulate them for their own ends. Pot calling kettle. Hello, Xehanort. But yeah, the Gazing Eye is the Master of Masters Keyblade, so what Keyblade that Lushu's gonna have is, quite curious to me. But yeah, now we have yet another battle against, well, yeah, Terra Xehanort. Not really one to... well, not really one that's interesting, mind you. I am also surprised that I managed to beat Terra Xehanort, because, I mean, again, if you remember Birth by Sleep, he was, a bitch and a half to defeat. But now he's, namely nothing. I mean, again, he does have a few more attack patterns that are reminiscent of his final fight against Aqua in the final episode of Birth by Sleep, but it's really not much else to talk about. Way-oh, singing the theme song of La Leitmotif of Ansem, Seeker of Darkness. I ain't got nothing to say. No trivia to help me out. Suppose anything else I can say to pass the time. I guess I could also talk about that brief scene we saw beforehand with Aqua, Terra, and Ventus returning to the realm of darkness, which, I mean, again, first of all, got on Aqua, facing her fears, but now with the aid of her friends, so, yeah. Truly, the power of friendship is, great. But yeah, that's pretty much where they're also going to be searching for clues to Sora's whereabouts, so... again, I guess to maybe talk about some of the other characters and whether or not they'll be coming back story-wise. I do imagine that, again, since I do have the HD models, we will likely see the likes of, you know, the Birth by Sleep trio, Aqua, you know, Roxas, Xion, Lee, and Isa again. I mean, particularly Lee and Isa in the sense that, you know, they still have that ongoing plot point of, you know, the girl in Ansem's castle. that I'm still, you know, hedging my bets on is Scold from Union Cross, but, you know, neither here nor there in this case. Or potentially Ava, you know, the one character who was missing from, you know, the Lost Masters trio. I mean, she did have darkness in her heart, technically, so, yeah, might be something to pay attention to. Either way, however, yeah, I do imagine that we will be seeing them again. It's just probably not in any real plot essential roles, because I imagine that the crux of the development will likely be going to the likes of, well, again, as we saw in the secret movie, Luke Sword, Yozora, obviously, given Tetsuya Nomura's Final Fantasy Versus 13 anger issues. But yeah, also the likes of Strelitzia. I'd imagine Marluxia and Larxene will probably get a bit in on that action as well, so, yeah, hopefully get a bit more about Demyx. We actually get, like, an actual physical appearance of Marcia and Aegis. You know, Yozora's two friends that we saw in the video game. And I guess that is also something to talk about now that I bring it up. Yes, indeed, Virum Rex. It is real! As in, that's basically where the whole game takes place in Quadratum, and, yeah, the Kingdom Hearts series does actually deal with the concept of, unreality, in the sense that they actually consider what's basically a reflection of our real-world Earth to be, you know, a fiction, whereas their world is the real one. Yeah, you know, it's not something like anything that can exist, you know, with talking ducks, mouses, and dogs, and magic, and, you know, existential dread. But yeah, basically that's what Melody and Memory dives into with the whole idea of Sora's basically in the realm of unreality. And yeah, how these two realms tie together, one that exists with magic keyblades and all that sort of light and darkness kerfuffle, and one without. Yeah, that's another interesting point about the metaphysics of Kingdom Hearts 4 that I'm interested to explore. Yeah, you see, it's not just, you know, the whole characters and the whole keyblades and the lady that I'm excited about, it's also to do with how these world mechanics work. Though, then again, I suppose, you know, by the people who start with Kingdom Hearts 4, they're probably going to be able to say, oh, well, this is light and darkness, unreality, metaphysics, oh, that's too confusing, I don't like the series anymore, but then again, people have been saying that shit since Chain of Memory, so really, it's just kind of in one ear and out the other in this case. But yeah, it also sort of goes without saying that again, if you pretty much die again without your Kupo coin, you're pretty much F-U-C-K-I-N-G'd. Actually, it would have been ED, but I just said fucking because I'm stupid. And I'm pretty much just sort of running on stream of consciousness at this point. Oh dear. 38 minutes. Just 7 more minutes to go. Yes, 7, the magical number of Kingdom Hearts. By the way, to kind of comment on the whole 7 and 13 symbolism, I do believe that, yeah, Tetsuya Nomura's name, take his first name, Tetsuya, T-E-T-S-Y-U-A. 7 letters. But what about his full name, Tetsuya Nomura? 13 letters. Oh, you cheeky devil. Oh, finally our last fight for the video, and then I can rest. By which I mean, grab some lunch and then, pretty much try again for the next part. Yeah, this is a bit more of an expansive Ansem Secret of Darkness boss fight, namely because it uses some of his attack patterns from Dream Drop Distance as well. But yeah, this is also very much exploring Ansem's attack patterns, sans the Guardian, really. So I guess they associate that with Terra Xehanort, and since that was taken out, you know, in the story, they pretty much account for Ansem's battle data as, you know, what we fought in the Keyblade Graveyard. Yeah, but either way, at this stage, it's, yeah, it is funny. He does have a few similar attacks, like the Darkness Bumper Car Rush and whatever else, but yeah, that's, really all she wrote. And, yeah, apart from his Desperation move being a reference to Dream Drop Distance, that's pretty much it. Excuse me for a second, I have something I need to take care of. And now I'm back. That break served a twofold purpose, the first of which was to make sure that a majority of my commentary on this video was saved, because I'm not doing like 40 minutes of that shit again, and the second of which was that I also had to take a shit. There's nothing like a good shit. But yeah, I guess to maybe talk about anything else in terms of what I didn't really have a chance to talk about last time, both in this and the Remind DLC, is that, yeah, the finale for a lot of our characters. In this case, Ansem's Secret of Darkness. Again, while I am still slightly miffed that, you know, both Ansem and Xemnas pretty much fell by the wayside to, you know, pretty much be basically support villains for the whole Old Man Xehanort saga. I do like that, again, their final moments did pay tribute to what their original character arcs were really about. I mean, in, you know, in particularly with, you know, Ansem's Secret of Darkness case, you know, him being basically a research scientist who saw that darkness was the end-all, be-all of everything, and then at the end of Kingdom Hearts 1, as Sora had proved him wrong, Kingdom Hearts was light. So a lot of his arc, you know, from Chain of Memories onward, was basically him just trying desperately to prove that, no, the world is truly darkness, and he was basically fighting against fate, even though that he knew scientifically that he was wrong. He was just so desperate to prove his convictions true that he eventually lost sight of himself, and when he was finally defeated, well, he relented, you know, showcased that Riku was the better man, and, you know, despite all of this and how Riku, you know, took darkness and returned it to light, yeah, there's still a lot more to learn. So again, I mean, while a lot of people are a little bit embittered on the whole likes of, oh no, characters getting a happy ending, Guru that should have been shouting, curse you, evil good guys, as he sinks into like a volcano of lava or whatever, I don't know. I feel like they did sort of close out the Xehanort saga in the best way that they possibly could, given the circumstances. Although, then again, the only one that people really seem to have a big problem with is, more specifically Old Man Xehanort having his whole redemption arc, which, again, I have to keep pointing out, it wasn't a fucking redemption arc. He gave up, he had the shit kicked out of him, and he fucking died. You know, just because he turns into a glowy light of glowiness and, you know, ascends off to basically the Kingdom Hearts version of... What even isn't really technically heaven? I mean, again, you're pretty much bereft of a soul when you become a heart. You're basically returned to Kingdom Hearts, which seems to be a nexus from which all hearts spawn, so... yeah. And I mean, to kind of go into this, actually, which is kind of fitting since it revolves around Xehanort himself, yeah, Xehanort's caretaker, as in the one whom of which his mother gave him up, you know, in a Scarlet Kylum, really, who pretty much gave up Old Man Xehanort as a wee bub towards, you know, his caretaker, was actually a reincarnation of the character from Union Cross. So yeah, they don't technically reclaim any of their memories when Kingdom Hearts disperses a heart towards a new body. It's technically a whole new person, just reutilizing the same heart. Again, Kingdom Hearts as a series does go to great lengths to say that your memories, your inner being, everything that you are, can, you know, come at a loss whether you fall to darkness or whether or not you return to Kingdom Hearts, so... yeah, I mean, where people are getting this whole idea that Xehanort pretty much gets a reward in, you know, a fluffy cloud heaven where you can pretty much just do whatever you want is a mystery to me. But then again, I suppose that's asking a little bit too much of people to sort of invest in the whole idea of, you know, certain philosophies about the soul, death, and all that kind of stuff. Which, I mean, admittedly is not something that you're really going to learn until you actually, you know, sort of do research into, you know, other cultures' theologies and the whole nature of life, death, and existence, but... you know, I mean, again, there is a lot more to seek out there, so much like Ansem's Secret of Darkness, go forth and seek it if you wish to learn more. But then again, maybe there is also credit to what he said back in Kingdom Hearts 1 with a lot of people's complaints. It's a meaningless effort. One who knows nothing can understand nothing. But that's enough cryptic advice for this point of the day, because, yeah, we pretty much just had to defeat his desperation attack from Dream Drop distance, and, yeah. We have the ultimate weapon. What do you have, Anthem? Just a dimensional void and laser blast? By the way, my eyes might be deceiving me, but are some of the Keyblades on the Ultimate Weapon meant to be the Keyblades from some of the previous games, like from Kingdom Hearts 1 through Dream Drop Distance? It might be, but I'm not too sure. Particularly by the time you utilize either the blocking ability or like its major attack. Yeah, I might have to examine it a little bit more closer up, but in any case, I'm Solidus-Skully, keep it new metal, and next time on the Kingdom Hearts 3 commentary, more boss fights to come. Catch you next time.